Okay, we got Shelly. She said, hey girls. Hi, Shelly. We've got Jennifer Wallace. She says, hello. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Erica. Hello, ladies. Hello, Erica. Jennifer said the struggle is real. I get it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we've all had a lot of energy and stuff thrown at us this what at this point 2.5 years. This feels like of just one thing after another that you face it, you heal it, you face it, here, and it's just like and I think we are all overwhelmed. I know I'm overwhelmed, but I'm also getting to a point of just like like I'm taking a break from it. I'm taking a break from it. And we're going to learn about love today, and that will help us through this crap, right?
absolutely. It's been hard for everybody. It's like, it feels like an upgrade, but as well, the upgrade leads to a new you. So within the tough times, I mean, the divine has to come through, and it's tough because the one, as I hear Lokaous, he's always saying, when you're the broke and you're the darkest, that's when he pulls the most miracles from you. And that's when he does his best work, is then. So we might see all the COVID, we're seeing everything, but throughout we're seeing the wonderful strangers, we're seeing beauty in everyday things we might not have noticed when we were out, people were working all the time. Now you're indoor more. Now you're seeing your family more. You enjoy the outdoors more. You're taking more advantage. And when you were wearing a mask, now people wanting to go outside and smell the air when before that wasn't a thing. So it's like, you have to take, look for the little things that you might have missed. And Lokaous has to remind me, and Isaiah, he tells my kids that as well. Look for all the beautiful things you would have missed otherwise. So yeah, there's some things about it, but let's look at the upside on what we are gaining. So yes, the struggle is real, but what are we gaining from that? Yeah. And I'm proud of her. She's Enchanted Moments, Jennifer. She is, and these incredible ladies taught us, this is where we are at. So thank you, Enchanted Moments, because we are here because of them. Yeah. They taught us, and she is in good hands. She's waking up spiritually. So I'm proud of her. This is a new beginning for her, as Reiki's just going to open up a whole new door for her. She's already seeing things and giving predictions, and she's with the right people, and they're going to just boost her. She's going to watch our stuff. It's going to help her. They're going to help her. So she's in great hands. And then the people she's going to help, they're going to be in good hands as well. Absolutely. So it's just all a thing. We all go down the thing.
Absolutely. She said, thank you with the heart.
She's very welcome.
All right. So, I guess we didn't start with like who we are. In case you don't know who we are, I'm Angie.
I'm Michelle.
We're Blue Heavens, and we are sisters who, I haven't said this in a while. I know card. Oh, goodness. What are we again?
Who are we, Angie?
I don't know. Let me read. We are sisters who channel ancient and divine beings from two councils of thought. Lazarus is a divine council, and Lucian is a council of our shadows within the illusion. These beings teach us to be better people, leading to better lives. And we hope to teach you how to live your best life.
This is Loki. I got a quick question. If you don't know who you are, who the hell are we?
We'll get to that in another time. That's right.
I'm just making sure, because if we're going to be, all right, I'm just a little concerned. It's all right.
We kind of probably should.
I will back out.
Yeah, our brains got scrambled like eggs.
Oh, I know. Feels like a
yeah. Speaking of that, I wore my chicken and the egg dress because Spirit said they hated this whole that humans don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. That we should just know a chicken would have to be here to lay the egg. So it's been solved. It's the chicken. The chicken was here first.
I cannot believe Michelle told me this was a thing. And the kids told me this was a thing. Dylan's discussing this in college. This is a Facebook discussion. I'm like, really? And I go, I know the answer. Dylan says, don't tell me it's the egg. No, it's the chicken. Like, oh man. Sorry to bust all your bubbles, but it is. I would know. It's the chicken. It happened. It's the chicken. So
now we know. one of life's greatest mysteries.
Is that one? That scares me. That scares me. That's one of life's greatest
It's one
mysteries.
of our things, man.
Who worries about how the creation was actually made? Let's worry about the chicken first.
If it's like a kid in school, they're like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm like, wow, you're a genius.
I'm honestly glad that's the first question you girls did not ask me and my son with this is, we got the first question and be like, I would have backed my ass out. Like, no, we're not ready.
Time being, you get your first question, and it is, what came first? Is it that chicken or that egg?
Well, I hate to bust everybody's bubble. It's the chicken. So
Freaking
the chicken. Yeah.
Jennifer said one mystery solved. Yep. There you go. You're very welcome.
And that is what we're here to do for all of you. Solve these mysteries for you.
Mysteries, these ancient mysteries. Ooh.
I'll bring
Right.
back Lokaous now. Now that that was solved, now I'll bring in.
Thank you, Loki.
You're very welcome.
Oh,
This is me. It's Lokaous. I guess I should just, instead of saying it's me, oh, it's Lokaous.
Lokaous.
And I'm glad he solved that for all of you humans. I'm glad. I was worried about that answer. Cosmo likes your dress.
I figured he would.
Oh, of course he likes it.
He likes chickens. He's always like them chickens.
View, but her son has a picture of a rooster in here. And we call it Corey, and that was before she met her friend Corey. and then she met Corey like 2 years after the rooster Corey, which is kind of weird, funny.
Corey has a similar vibe to Cosmo.
Absolutely.
Which
Oh
is
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
yeah, they have a very similar, they vibe similarly.
Cosmo said Corey's one of the biggest badasses he knows, and he wouldn't mess with Corey. He said, well, Corey does making people
something. So that's good. He's learned something. Because before, when he was here, he probably would have.
yeah, he said Corey would make him pee his pants. Now where he is, and there's no urine to be produced. So he said it would happen with what he does and who he talks to.
His bone is bad then.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised Loki don't scare him, but I guess not. No, he says Loki does scare him, but that's why Corey scares him. So, all right.
I get it.
I don't scare anybody.
No,
But that's okay. It's good.
I don't think I do either. So it's cool. I mean, some of us need to not scare. We need to be approachable, some of us.
I'm the rainbow man. I love the rainbows. Yeah, the rooster, Corey, he used to go in front of their window in the morning and wake them all up, and he'd go by each window.
Jennifer said
Six.
she loves that we have a guy named Cosmo, that's one of her cat's names. It's a synchronicity. Yep. It wasn't his incarnated name, but it's the name we've given him as a spirit so he can remain anonymous. And this is not who he was.
This is Cosmo, and I act like, yeah, I should be everybody's spirit animal. I really should be.
No.
I should.
No, don't do it, people.
Vote now. Would you like me to be your spirit animal? Me or Loki or Lokaous? Vote now. It's ticking. They all choose Loki. I know it. I
Probably would. Yeah.
I would be like dead last. Walk. I would deserve it. So
At least you placed.
I'm all in place. You
Oh,
yeah.
all right. Forget
Okay,
Loki. We gotta talk about love, man.
Oh, I don't know anything about that, man. I gotta leave.
That's not your jazz, baby.
Oh, God. Oh, see, let's not set that poll up he just said. Let's not do that because of
There's no bueno.
no bueno. Absolutely. And congratulations on your 2-year Spanish.
Thank you very much. I still can't, like, if I hear it, I don't know what they're really saying. I can read it. And
But you got to go out and eat though. But you got to eat out.
it was so good. It was so good.
There you go.
Oh my God, it was good. Yep, very enjoyable. Yep. So are you ready? Do you want to talk about love?
I want to talk about love. Please, let's not talk about love and let's not talk about Cosmo and the whole peeing in pants thing. I would love this.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to start. So I pulled the message because I wanted to talk about some of these Bible stories of Jesus.
Love that book. Love that one. Anybody has a chance, you don't have this, please get this. This is wonderful.
It is. It's like updated Bible. It like
Mm.
makes more sense. It flows better. It's easier to read. Yeah. Shelly said, congratulations. Thank you, Shelly. It's been fun. I've done it every day for 2 years. It started at the beginning of like the whole pandemic, and I started drinking then too, but I didn't stay an everyday drunk. So I'm very proud of myself that I stopped drinking again. And I just kept up with the Spanish. So
I think we kept up with the drinking portion of it. You kept the Spanish up.
drinking a little bit longer.
Yeah. Angie taking Spanish today.
Do another shot. She did it. All right. So love. All right. So I want to talk about John 4:16. Talk about Jesus. This is
Favorite of Jesus.
yes. This is how much God loved the world. He gave his son, his one and only son. And this is why, so that no one needs be destroyed. By believing in him, anyone can have a whole and lasting life. God didn't go to all the trouble of sending his son merely to point an accusing finger, telling the world how bad it was. He came to help, to put the world right again. Anyone who trusts in him is acquitted. Anyone who refuses to trust him has long since been under the death sentence without knowing it. And why? Because of that person's failure to believe in a one-of-a-kind Son of God when introduced to him. So, what is that telling us? That is telling us Jesus did not come here to say you are a bad person. He did not come here to point out any sin in you whatsoever. He came in here to heal that, to show you that there was something bigger, that there was something better. He came to show us love. So we're going to talk about these actions that he's done, right? And we're going to talk about the words. I think when we go to church, I feel kind of lucky that Michelle and I weren't raised in church because we don't have somebody else's interpretation in our heads. We have our interpretations from our study along with our spirit guide's help, and it's pieced it all together. So I think that is a huge blessing here. But he came to show us love. If we are telling people they are sinners, they know that, right? That's not going to help them. We need to love them. If you love them, you support them, you're there to listen to them. There's something very special about love. Love is really what we all need to be okay. We need someone to come and love us. And we live in a society, we don't really have that. Our parents were working when we were growing up, so we didn't have like a solid foundation to teach us love, like the Native Americans, right? Who were just fine here without white people. They had it going on. They knew what they were doing. We've got that lost. Industry has lost us. It's lost our connection. So we want you to see this love connection and then know that is how you help someone that is suffering. That's how you help someone that is hurt. You show them love. Destiny said, hello, sorry I'm late. Thank you.
Hi, Destiny.
Oh, Destiny. Jennifer, love is the answer for everything. It really is. It really is. So, Lokaous, do you have anything to say about God sending his son to love the world?
Absolutely. I mean, God loves all of you. You all came down here for a mission. You all came down here to learn, and you're under his divine protection. And he's the most wonderful teacher you could ever have. He has tried throughout the Bible, when you read the Bible, the Old Testament to the New Testament, you've had Moses, you've had all these wonderful leaders coming through to try to introduce God, to bring God's presence, but nobody knew how, without actually God there, how do I be? How do I conduct myself? It was proven with Moses over and over, even with the tablets. He was on the, he was on the mountain for how long? And his own brother, they designed a gold calf because of the Egyptians and because that's what they knew. And God tried everything, but they just weren't ready as a people. They weren't ready. So what could he finally, it was Jesus that was going to, him himself, an aspect of him has to come down to show people how to be. This is how I want you to be. He tried with the tablets, he tried with David, he tried with all of these different examples But the humans, they're visionary people, visual. They have to see it, they have to hear it, they got to feel it, see it. Plus, you need us for future reference as well. What better ways come down yourself and show what a king really is? A king is not this, because everybody's expecting this. I guess what you would, a human version of a king is this rich man sitting in a castle with his subjects, and he's just cruel. Which, by the way, kings are not all were like that, by the way. So some were not. And he was not like that. He came and lived among us. He lived among the normal. When I met him, I because I always say, I was the disciple John. And yes, I was the favorite. So I was the favorite.
Loved.
Yeah. And unlike Crossroads, it says I'm really insecure, so I had to say it a lot in the book. I wrote that portion of it. I'm allowed to say it. He said it. I marked it. No, he didn't really. He told all of us he loved us. He told all of us he loved us. That they just didn't put it. I did put it. So there you go. But I digress. But when I met him, I swear to you, I wouldn't have not placed him as what I was hearing. I am hearing about this wonderful king who heals, right? Mm-hmm. I meet him and I didn't know it was him until that energy hit. Then you knew. Then the love hit. And it was like seeing an everyday person with that everyday love, and I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
And you just felt this overwhelming love. Then you knew that is the king. That's him. And when you understood, he knew that. He knew the people that were going to follow would get it and understand it. He was in your orbit of love. And it, I would say, kind of messed you up.
Yeah.
In a good way. I'm not saying it was terrible. It is when you're so used to all of the negative, and all of a sudden this love comes at you, it just rearranges everything. It goes through you, it courses you. I broke down and cried at his feet.
I feel like you would just vibrate. Did you just feel like a pulse?
Yes.
And I feel like you would just feel, wow.
I vibrated. When I didn't vibrate, I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was having a heart attack or something, because that is what it felt like. And he would always tell all the new ones, not the new ones, breathe. He knows I'm having a hard time now. He'd just say, breathe it out. And he would say, calm down, my brother, calm down, my sister. And I'd see women amongst him, and I'm like, he's got a woman, but he's got women. And he goes, it's okay, my brother. He was to everybody, my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister. His mom even came around, and we wouldn't know that was even his own mother. He didn't say mother. He would call her Mary. He would never call her mom. So we didn't even know unless he said, well, somebody would say, that's his mom. That's his mom. See the resemblance a little bit, but that's all that gave it away.
Wow.
So, but he vibrated, but it was being in him and learning. You wanted to learn from him. You wanted to learn. He vibrated. And even when he was on the cross, he vibrated.
Wow.
Even when they said we all knew, the ground shook. We knew the ground shook. We knew it still vibrated, but in the Holy Spirit, because he said he's going to return in 3 days. And when the Holy Spirit hit, it was just like him all over again. It felt like him entering, and it was exactly as Acts says. It entered us, and it was just almost like I went down again and I cried again, just like when I met him the first time. But is this time he's in here? And all of you have this. All of you have got that. And you don't know how special that is until you walked this earth. You didn't feel that before. And then when you're in his presence, and then this all happens. And he said, I have a greater picture. And he said that before he passed, he says, I got a greater mission. And when he passed, we didn't understand, because you didn't understand these things back then. But now it makes sense. But then it did not. But when the 3 days happened and we seen him, and that's all he did. We just seen him and he smiled and he just went like that. And oh, wow, we all just fell. And I cried again like a babbling idiot, because it just felt all over again. Like, I got to forget my sins, and I left, I did this, and you just want to just drop. But that's how you feel when you're saved. When you're saved, that's what you feel like. And with that Holy Spirit, we were able to touch many, many lives that way. The people, and that's what we still do today. Lazarus, that's what Lazarus does. We still do that. You don't need a preacher to put their hands on you and say you're saved or you're baptized. Any mere human can do this. This is all with your hands. You believe in Christ, we all have the power to do this. He was the way. He did not want a church after him. And that is, we have read, it's like the Essenes. He learned all of this from the Essenes. He was And Mary Magdalene was a student with him. She was like the love of his life, by the way, if nobody really knew that, but that was the love of his life. She understood him. And they got her down as different things. That's how he met her.
Yeah.
But he had compassion and he loved her despite all of this. And he really got a lot of backfeed on this. But if you've seen everything he did, which is what we're going to talk about, the love he gave all of us. But I wanted to give a firsthand on a disciple, how it felt to be his disciple. And it was something that you can never describe. You can't describe that feeling walking with him. You were special from that moment you met him. And your goal was to make everybody feel as special as you felt. That was your job from here on out. And you didn't think of you anymore. I was no longer John. I was his servant. How do I help? He said, you're not my servant, you're his servant. We follow what my father says. He not once said it was about him, it was about my father. Let's follow what my father says. And we all were just, however you needed us, we were right there for whoever needed us. When he did the fish and the bread, that really happened. And that's what blew our minds. But he wanted us to see humans can manifest as such as he, to believe in the bigger picture. He'd always make sure because you all see, like he would tell us, you see with narrow eyes. We need to see with bigger eyes. Look at what the world can really give you. If you really look, you're only given this much vision, which you have as well, Angela spoke before, but he used to say that a lot to us. You're missing the bigger picture. So he would do these examples. And I wanted to put that in the Bible because these things I want humans to know. He did these things. He did the wine at Cana. I seen him firsthand do this stuff. You just were blown away, but you really, if you were his disciple, you knew this was going to happen. You knew something, it was always going to be something with Jesus, but you believed him. I believed him from the moment I met him. I felt it. He didn't have to do nothing special or spectacular to me. I just knew and I felt it. From the time he walked this earth, I followed him. The time he left this earth, until the time I, went back home to him again, I preached his word. It was no longer John. It was about the Father. It's always about the Father, never at all. And that is what he wants humans to know this. He sent somebody to teach us this in the physical sense.
Yeah.
But that's how it felt to be a disciple. But we all can be his disciple. And that's what it felt to be right in front. If somebody would always ask, and his eyes were mystic, by the way. They were not brown. They were mystic color. You can't describe that. It's hard to describe. People just say he's got brown eyes. If you didn't believe, yes, maybe he had brown eyes. But if you believed, he had mystic colored eyes. I just want to add that because that was a beautiful feature of his.
Oh, that's wonderful. I read that in one of the books. I don't remember which one it was, the Aquarian Gospel. No, I think it was the Dolores Cannon book about Jesus in these scenes, or Walking with Jesus. One of those, I think is what it was. So we've got some comments, and then I wanted to get into another thing. So we've got Jennifer said, so she got goosebumps and tingles when we were talking about something. So I've missed it, but it's cool. I'm glad. That's awesome because I did too. And she said that she loves us in this and that she needed to hear this. That's awesome. Marianne said, good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, Marianne. And Destiny said, cool. Yeah, this is cool. So I want to get into to throw the stone. I think this is a very great one for us. So Jesus went across the Mount Olives, but he was soon back in the temple again. Swarms of people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. And again, I love that. He's not running away. He just sits down and talks to people. Again, making the bread and the water for everybody, the bread and wine. He didn't run away from this swarm of people. His thought was, hey, let's take care of everybody. Let's feed them. Let's give them a good drink. Let's let them sit down. He probably talked to them. He probably taught them. I mean, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the religion scholars and the Pharisees led in a woman who had been caught in an act of adultery. How dare she? They stood her in plain sight of everyone and said, teacher, this woman was caught red-handed in the act of adultery. Moses in the law gives orders to stone such persons. What do you say? They were trying to trap him into saying something incriminating so they could bring charges against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger in the dirt. They kept at him, badgering him. He straightened up and said, the sinless one among you, go first, throw the stone. Bending down again, he wrote some more in the dirt. And hearing this, they walked away one after another. And the woman said, And the woman was alone, and Jesus stood her up and told her, "Woman, where are they? Does no one condemn you?" And she said, "No one, Master." And he said, "Neither do I. Go on your way. From now on, don't sin." So, love. He's showing love here. And he's connecting to his father. This whole bending in the dirt and writing, I think he's like, what do I say here? This is a big moment, right? I need to get everyone's attention here and have them see it. What is the thing to say? And that's how, is that correct?
Yes. Well, that would be like how when I'm here when on the lives, I fidget. So I got fidget spinners, and I got to thank Dylan on behalf of Dylan, her son, fidget spinners. So when that happened, yes, I was there when that happened. Of course I was. I hear Loki. Of course you were. Yes. But anyway, yes. Well, can I start from where he was teaching? Because I would like people to, I don't want people to be there with him. Like when we're talking, we want you to be there with him. We want you to really close your eyes. And when we are talking about it, be there with us. Now, when he would be walking like this particular time, when he'd go to teach anywhere, by the way, kids would first run up to him. Kids were always running to him. He'd pick up any child. And that was one of our things. Pick up any child coming at you. There are one of his sheep. Pick the children up. Oh, we love the children. We'd all play with the children. And maybe moms would go, oh, he touched a child. But he just loved children. Their energy so wonderful and vibrant. He said, those are the ones we can teach. But he wanted to teach everybody. But they would just love him. So he would sit, and he sat cross-legged most of the time. And he'd bring a child. They'd always sit, and because you always see a child and several sitting by him, always. And he'd hold one, and he'd just sit a little one. And moms always gave him babies. He loved to sit and hold a baby. And he was infamous for this. And he was teaching. Well, he heard the commotion. They were always trying to get him in trouble. He even would tell us ahead of time, they want to try again today. And he always knew. So he's seen what was going on. He would always be nice with the wonderful children. Now he goes, a teacher will be back. He'd always be very courteous. Children will be back. Oh, but he would come back, but he went over there, and he calmly goes over there. It wasn't like he went over there to hissy, like, you just interrupted my session here. No, he walked over very calm, and he looked at the situation. And so he would tell us when he didn't know the answer automatically from his father, because these were timed messages, not only for them, but for all of us, as what he's learning too. How do I do this? This is another lesson Dad was teaching me. So as I take a fidget spinner and I fidget, he would also, you might say he had ADD. You might even say Jesus, because he had all this energy. You get fidgety. You just have to do something with it. Besides talking to his father and doing this in the sand, he's also fidgeting. So he would get an answer from his dad. So he's sitting there, and like meditation. Have you seen mediums that do this when they're drawing? And they do this. They're connecting. Well, that was his connection to his father. And he was showing you through that parable, that story. It's not a parable, but a story, but it's in there. There's different ways to connect. You may connect this way. You may connect like this. It doesn't matter. You can still talk to your father. And that's what he was showing Mercy at that moment. But he was also showing them, he was stalling to make them upset. Because you got to remember, they're wanting him to do something right now. So here's all kind of reasons why he's doing this particular motion. We knew he was fidgety. So we knew this was kind of a common thing for Jesus. We knew he was fidgety. And we knew this was always, because he did do that. Believe it or not, this was not the first or the last. He was always drawing in the sand. He was always fidgety. But that was his way of connecting. One, showing all of you this. There's ways to connect to my father besides all of this. Also, he was making them to think about their stuff. Because what's Jesus going to do? And he knew it. Yeah. And he probably already knew, honestly, what he was going to say before he did that. Knowing Jesus, he probably did. But he wanted to do this. Because he really, and for dramatic, because he wanted them to hear what he was going to say. To really hear it. And when it's what he said, if nobody here has, cast a first, go ahead. But you've all sinned. He knew ahead of time. And you should have seen the expression like, oh, who is he to speak like that? Who is he to speak about? Because they still were in disbelief. They were still expecting the king to be this haughty-taughty, and it wasn't him. But they couldn't feel the presence. You might ask, why would the Pharisees say this and not feel it? You have to think, if you are in a negative state, you're not going to feel it. But they're preaching his father's word, but yet it was We never understood that, but it was meant to be a role they played. We understand that now as who we are. But then when you're walking, you don't see it, like, because you're so in a state of love, you don't see what hate really is. But how he dealt with hate was how we all should deal with it. He was, he made that comment. He didn't get angry. He made the comment. He picked her up and he says, follow me, my daughter, follow me. And you know who that disciple was? That was Mary.
Huh. Oh, that makes so much sense. If they said she was a prostitute, no, oh, wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So when they parted ways from the Essenes, but she parted ways from the Essenes, he recognized her. He would have done this for anybody.
Yeah.
He would have done this for anybody. But that was Mary.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like the second time he says he saved her. But that's a beautiful example. But I wanted to make sure with the sand, people know he was very fidgety.
Yeah.
That's kind of a thing.
A lot of the like newer generation of kids are super fidgety, and they seem kind of more spiritual than other kids used to be.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. The kids that have, like, I told her kids, they all got ADD, ADHD, whatever. Michelle's fidgety, your dad, oh my goodness, never sits down. Dylan never sits. But, and I'm always doing this and I'm like that. But think about it, all this energy has to go somewhere. And they're just thinking at a fast pace because they get the information a lot more than, but that's how they came in to be, though. They came in to know the knowledge a little bit more than, it just depends.
Destiny asked, did they go by Mary and Jesus? I read it would have been more like Yeshua and Miriam.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, we were walking. Yes, when you're in public.
Okay.
Yes, if you're in public, yes, but it's amongst us, not really. He would be, hey woman. It was always hey woman. She'd be like, hey man, hey teacher, rabbi, and they weren't married, but sometimes she would say husband. Because she really loved him, but it was not like that kind of a marriage, by the way. So people, please, it was not that. But it was, he would say, as sometimes she'd be like husband, because he would say this because he's very protective over her, because how he found her. She was always protective. He was always over everybody. But you got to remember, he had human, so he loved her. So sometimes she'd be talking to somebody, he'd be watching her, and she'd be like, husband, like back off. But we all knew, because I was confused, like, and he goes, because we all understood, but it was more like an insight. But yeah, Destiny does have that, but that was formal and only in public. If he was addressing us, which typically we weren't addressed, it's always about the Father. Well, he wasn't about us.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, got another one about the man where he says, take up your mat.
Okay,
let's talk about this story. So it's a Sunday. You're not allowed to do anything on Sundays. You're not allowed to do any healings on Sundays. And Jesus walking around breaking some rules. There's a pool where if you go into the pool at a certain time, you can be healed. So there's a sick man sitting there, and Jesus asked him, do you want to get well? I like that right there. Like, this man's been sitting there years. This man's been sitting there for 38 years. So he goes up to him, do you want to be well? And I think we need to ask that of people that come to us, because, do you want to get well? It's very important. Mm-hmm. Right. And the sick man said, sir, when the water is stirred, I don't have anybody to put me in the pool. By the time I get there, somebody else is already in it. Jesus said, get up, take your bedroll, start walking. And the man was healed on the spot. He picked up his bedroll and walked off. Jesus just told him to just go do it. Stop procrastinating. Stop with excuses. Go do the thing you need to do. And again, I love that. That is love. That is love. And I think sometimes we as humans, I know I'll get weak on love. I won't want to tell you what you need to hear to wake you up sometimes, because that I don't want to hurt your feelings, but love will hurt your feelings to get the point across, because it'll heal the problem.
He did not want this man to play the victim anymore. The man was getting pity. You put yourself in this man's shoes. He's getting pity. Yeah. And he would give us many examples and why he was doing it. It wasn't he just do it and we've had to figure it out. He knew we didn't understand. This was such bigger than us. something like this. He said, we have the, and he would give us examples of people. And he said, this man over here, for example, and he put his hand out. He could read people, yeah, naturally. And he's doing this, and he like 38, he knew how long. He's playing a victim. He gets pity. This is how he gets his love. He didn't want him to get love like that anymore. He wanted him to stand up and get love. The creator wanted him to get love, not by pity. Don't pity people into love and don't play the victim. He wanted to say, I love you enough. I want you to stand up. He was stern, but love is stern when you need him to listen. And he said, and when he got up, I mean, the shock on his face, the tears that rolled down, because somebody for once put their foot down. I'm not giving you money, but I will help you. And he could walk the whole time. He just didn't want to do it because he got so much pity. And that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want to, and that's what Jesus said. He could walk. I didn't do anything. He could do it. I just gave him the love he needed to hear. And he shot him that love. And that guy gave him the love right back. And that's all he ever needed was somebody just stop, put their hand up and extend that love. That's what so many people need nowadays. We need to, you see somebody that is hurt. Sometimes you just walk past, like that one parable where, they all walk by the stranger. Nobody wants to help the stranger except the one person you were totally oblivious that goes and he helps him, even pays for the hotel room for him. Yep. That's how, you have to, you can't just let somebody hurt. You have to help them. That was the example here he put, is you have to help it. Be love to people and they will see it. And he said, just a simple gesture is what I did. Anybody can do this. It don't have to be taught, but he said, I have to teach, because you got to remember, everybody here in this part is unruly. Got to remember this. They're not how they are here. People might say, well, we're unruly, not how they were then. They were like mad animals back then. It was rapid. Right. And he had to teach people to go from that state to this state. And, basically he would have loved this hair added right here. He was hitting people to do that, to wake up. Yeah. And he didn't care who you were. He was trying to show you. And he wanted, and you know what that guy asked? He goes, what can I do? Pass it along. Pass what I do along to somebody else. Because, he was a great teacher, but he was also say, take what I did for you and do that for somebody else. It's very simple. Pick up your mat, stand up, and show this love and gratitude to somebody else that needs that. That's all he asked. That's all he asked from us as well. Be that love for somebody else. And then after that, you be that love to somebody. And that's how we get that love to go around everywhere. And you'd be amazed how a little gesture, even I love this, I love your necklace, anything, it beams you up. And in our society, and it doesn't matter, any society could use love. Any society can use that. It takes that. But that was that example of what he was talking about.
Perfect. So let's talk about carrying our crosses. Okay, so we were kind of talking about this yesterday. So Jesus not only had to have a humiliating death, but he had to walk this cross, right? He had to do these hard things. He knew there was no way out of it, and he had to do it in a way that isn't human. A human being wouldn't handle this mockery. They wouldn't handle these things like Jesus did. So let's talk about what that says to us.
Oh, just give me, it takes me back. So I knew this was going to be brought up. It takes me a second.
Stuff, I think it's important that we really get the meaning here.
I saw the whole thing, not the whole thing, this what I saw from the human perspective, because I feel the human perspective, that's what you need to hear, is not from the archangel point of view or the deity. You need to hear it from my human point of view. And this is what is taking me, because it hurts me so bad to watch somebody you just love this happen. But I never, on all the human shows I've seen, I have never seen the actual depicted, right? I've never seen it actually. I'm not saying I want to ever see that. The closest movie, and don't watch this, I'm not begging people, if you have, I watched The Passion of the Christ. Michelle told me, she said, be forewarned. I watched it, and it was 95% correct. And the only thing I'd say was different is they kicked his teeth in and they took his eye out, which they did not do in the show. And I'm glad, but the rest of it was brutal. There was no human being should have put through what he had to put through. At some point, he could not carry this cross. He couldn't carry it anymore. They had to grab somebody they just grabbed somebody to help him. And this person was scared, thinking they're going to hang him right beside Jesus. And Jesus had to reassure him that wasn't the case. His mom watched the whole thing. She even tried to pick him up on occasion. And I had to keep holding her back because I did not want them to get her, because I didn't know. And I risked being a disciple standing there watching it. The rest of them fled, which is true. They all fled and were scared, but I understand. He never held that against them. I stood with Mary because that was he put that as my duty to do. That I watched the whole thing happen and people mocking, they're kicking him, spitting at him, and I'm doing this. So I really want people to understand he did not try to fight. He sad. I was angry. I wanted to fight. And he'd look at me and I could hear him say like that. And you just want to go. And the more they're badgering him and they're drunk and they're hitting him. And that is so true what they were doing to him. And just for no reason. And the people he helped were the people in the audience spitting at him. And so we watched the whole thing and tried to put him on the cross. He's in so much pain. And he's in pain. They broke about every bone in his body. He's bleeding everywhere. And they're hanging him. And his hand did not quite reach on the cross. It didn't quite reach, so they dislocated his shoulder just to get it to reach, and he screamed in pain. And he laughed. Where's your God now? And you would hear, where's your God now? And he did not one time during that whole thing did he say, you all are going to hell. You're all are sinners. Lucifer's doing all of this to me. Not one time was any of this uttered. I felt his pain. His mom felt his pain because we loved him so much. There was people in there that felt it with him. I stayed the duration. And then when he did, he left. The earth, it shook. The lights went, your sun just went out. And he said, and he mumbled it. He says, forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do. And when the earth shook, that's when the Pharisees realized who they killed. That is when they realized who they killed. They came to me and they said, was it him? I said, yes. But I said, he has mercy on your soul, because he would have wanted me to say that. He did not one time complain. He did not one time, he was in so much pain. Even before all of this, when he was praying, he asked, please, Father, take this cup from me. But when it was not taken from him, he willingly took it. He knew. He didn't fight. When they would tell him to defend himself, he didn't. He knew that wasn't what he was here to do. The whole thing, what I had described, was when you're going in the dark, and you might say, this is God's son. He is allowing all this to happen to his own son. The crucifixion had many meanings besides giving us the Holy Spirit, giving us examples with the human flesh. The example was we're walking alone and we're feeling people are degrading us, spitting at us. Why would you turn and hit this person? Because they don't know better. Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they do. He knew. He's showing while he is getting humiliated, walking down. He was showing all of us. The bigger picture was showing all of us how we should conduct ourselves in hate. He didn't try to come at people. He didn't go like this. Not one time did he do this. I wanted to do that because you love somebody, and he'd look at me and he would put with his eyes in with the one eye. He's badgered, by the way, but he would be doing this to my, and I'm just like, why? I begged him. I said, fight. I said, will you please fight? He said, that's not my will. That's not my Father's will to fight. And I was begging, like, What's the bigger picture? And because you don't see it. The 3 days felt like eternity because we don't know now, are we next? And I'm protecting his mother. The rest of us don't know what's going on. He just said, I'm coming back in 3 days. We don't know what that means. Is he, we didn't know. But the bigger picture, him walking this, it was showing us we're holding our crosses. We're not alone. When that person came, yes, that person was grabbed. He's saying you're never alone. The foam footsteps, I read to her ex-husband, Kenneth, yesterday. When you read footsteps, that's exactly what you are. He will pick you up on the darkest days. You are never alone. You're never alone. He was not alone when he walked that. But I also want to add, when he was walking this, he didn't curse Lucifer. He wasn't cursing Satan. He wasn't saying, oh, you humans, because of your sin, put me here. It's your fault. I'm dying because of all of you. No, because that wasn't what he was teaching. He knew why. He knew why he's walking. He knows. But he did not once complain because he's teaching you. When you're helping somebody, one, don't complain about it. Just help them. Be there. When somebody is doing all of this to you, spitting at you, and the first thing you want to show anger, don't show anger. Show them love and mercy. This is what he did to the Pharisees. And they were brutalized. They wanted them to fight. They wanted to stand up, show Jesus. He didn't give them that. He wasn't going to give them that. He didn't backtalk because he was showing all of us how to conduct ourselves. Even in his death was a lesson to us how to conduct. I learned a lot from Jesus in his life, but I learned a lot more in his death. Yeah. I learned how to be a man when he died. And I hate to say that. I did learn a lot in his life, but when he died, truly is when I learned. I learned how to conduct myself. I no longer did this to people. I no longer had to. And if they were going to put me in charges, which they did, eventually, yes, and I would die for my crimes, of course. It was not the crime, but that's what they said. I willingly went because he willingly went. He was my example of what you do. When it's your time to go, I knew where I'd go. I'm going to go to the Father. I'm all protected by him. He knew the whole time. His dad loved him. That is what God wants you to know, everyone. You are so loved by God. You're never alone. When you're carrying your cross, you feel brutalized. You feel like the world spitting at you. You keep walking forward. He had to keep walking forward. He was showing you in that. Walk forward. Hold your cross proudly. He held up proudly. He didn't sit there like this was a curse. He held it proudly. He knew the bigger picture. He knew the bigger picture. He wore those thorns with pride. You're trying to humiliate me. You're not going to humiliate me. And you know what? You get a lot further in life when you conduct life as such. When you're always in a fight, you're always angry. You don't, and you miss the bigger picture. He did not want us to miss the bigger picture. And watching all of this, and as I said, that's when I became a man. That's when I became a man. I had to take care of his mom now, which was to me the honor of my life, to take care of his mom. But the biggest honor besides that was helping his sheep and helping his followers go back to his Father. So why we mentioned the crucifixion, because that says a lot. That says a lot. During that, every part of Jesus's life was a lesson, from his birth to his death, to the Holy Spirit, the whole thing, because God is trying to show all of us, I am here. I am here. When your darkest moments, I bring the best miracles to you. When you're broken, that's when I can fix you. That's when I can mold you, my brother, my sister, my daughter, my son. That is when I can take you and truly fix you. But you got to come to me. You have to come to me, and I will do that for you. So be happy when you're broken. Be happy. I told that to Kenneth this morning. He says, I feel broken. I said, congratulations. Now you can learn. Now you're going to go forward now. You're broken. Good. Accept that. When a human would come to me and say that, I said, good. Now you're workable. Now he can put his arms on you, pick you up, and now he's got you. He has you now. That's the most beautiful thing. But that is when he shows his best miracles in his life to you. And it's all he wants from all of us. He showed his son Jesus. Follow what he did. He was here for an example, to always show us. He didn't have to come a second time or a third time. One time is all it was needed, because we're to be that. We're to be this now. He would say that to us all the time, because we say, we need you. What are we going to do when you leave? He says, you don't need me. You've got the Father. You have the Father, the best teacher of all. I'm just here to give these examples. And I didn't know he was right, but he was right. He was right.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Jennifer said, amen. I love it. I think that is absolutely the message I wanted to get across with this today. To have people really if you read the Bible, if you read these stories, look into the actions of these people and think, what do we normally do? I mean, it really is very sobering how he was able to behave and conduct himself in situations where a lot of us are just a mess and we're going to react poorly. And if we react poorly, there are consequences to those actions. Again, Jesus is showing us love. And if we can love and we can perfect ourselves, then we can get out of this whole karmic cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Like, we think that the goal is to like just say we love Jesus and we'll get to heaven and we avoid hell. No, that's not what's going on here. You're going to live this life over and over and over again until you get it right. All the car accidents you've had, all the crap that you've had, you've got to do that shit again. And it's going to be harder for you this next time. Like, there are consequences to everything we do. There are councils of spirit that are keeping track of shit. And like, all of that is very, very real.
Mm-hmm.
We really need to pay attention, and we need to be that love for people. I think at this point it's very important. I mean, okay, so I was in the shower thinking, God's doing something. What's the word I'm looking for? And in front of me is a little hair packet, and it's the word repair. He's repairing.
Right.
Okay. And I thought that was perfect. Because they do that shit for a reason. They know I'm going to think in that moment to do that. That's why I thought it. They put that thought in my head because they wanted you to know God is repairing this stuff. That's why everything looks like it's a mess. That's why in the Bible talks about the end of days, how everything's going to be confusing and doesn't make sense because it's being rebuilt. And again, it's like we're going from 3D to 5D. So it's like taking a triangle. Now all of a sudden it's a hexagon, you know, and you're building and you're cutting walls, you're remodeling, you're rebuilding. It takes time and there's chaos and all that. Nothing's making sense. Everything's rearranged. We're being rebuilt.
I love that. This is why Lazarus does what they do. You have Sri Krishna, you got me, and you got Loki, and you would be like, the whole Loki's broken, but how much he'll put love into everything. He says every bit of a Lazarus as me and Marcus. He shows love in a different, because we're all, as a council, we're here to show humans. I'm the teacher. Marcus is that we think a spirit animal, hammock, guru, besides, but that's how I always say him anyway. But he teaches love, and he was here. That's what he did. He taught what Jesus, but in his own, a different way, the same message, just in a different way. And Loki was broken, if you know, and there's a lot more to Loki than all that. I would say don't believe anything you ever hear from the Norse or anything, because it's not true, because these are not even, including to the horse, him being a mama. No, that's none of this is true. He gets upset about that, but he said none of this is true stuff. And I can validate none of it is. There's so much more to him and so much more depth. And a lot of people are in that state of a shadow. They don't understand anymore. But it also, he will show that most compassion and love to you when you need it the most. And he will do. He's the one, everybody, that does all the energy work for everybody. That's Loki. I do the finishing touches, but he's the one that goes in and gets that. But God utilizes all of your strengths and all of your energies. He takes all your good. He saw the good. Lazarus, I mean, basically we are reborn. We're second. You know, if you know the whole thing with Lazarus, come out of your cave, come out. The authority, we want you to come out of your cave. Take off the bandages, take off your bandages and just be whoever you're meant to be. Be your authentic you. Who is that? You know, the beautiful thing, discover that who you are. You might be, but you're evolving. Humans are evolving. You're never the same person from when you were a child to now, but that's the beautiful thing. You can reinvent yourself every 10 years, every 5 years, however long. And that's beautiful. And the older you get, they say more wisdom. but you want to act like a child. You can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be what they say an adult because you're this age. No, you be whomever you're meant to be under God's green earth. Who are you? It don't matter. You can be anything you want to be. And he gave you imagination to get you here. He equipped you. You're equipped with everything you need, including him as the teacher. And he's not your rule book. I'd say guidebook, be better word. And you got your divine angels, you got your guides. And why did we do this? You might ask. When we are in a beautiful area, because when you're in the presence of the great divine, and you were face to face with the great divine, well, we all have Loki from the distance, but he has as well. You want to do everything you can to help his people. You want to do anything. And I love helping everybody. I'm a hugger. I love hugging people. And her body, nonetheless, Trevor's in the background. He's a hugger too. And that, but he's was well one of my students. Her child, my student. We love him. And you're here to be whoever you're meant to be, and just be love. Be that love to somebody. Is ultimately all your lessons go back to love. Everything goes back to love. That is what we teach, is love. It goes back. We have different ways, different forms. We may do it. Marcus might have a different method. I might. Loki will. Cosmo might say something. But we all have a reason and a different way of getting there. But we will get you there in some way. You bring your part, everything, because she has one perspective and she's got another perspective of us. And that. So.
Come here, it's all right.
She wants to be involved too. Now she's got the perspective. She's got her perspective right now.
Something to say. Come here, dude. Oh man. Jennifer said she got the message we're being resurrected. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like whatever crap we're going through, we need to know that there's something better at the end of it. Like that's what the whole story's about. He came back unharmed. There was no, right? He was new and he was okay. And I think that's the point. We have to go through all this crap, but then at the end of it, we're new and we're okay. And we're free to be whatever we are and to discover that. All these meditations talk about how to look at the light within for all your answers. Yes. Discover who you are. It's such an amazing thing to discover who we are when we don't have to worry about keeping up who we say we are. Not that.
Well, Jesus came in here and he was himself the whole time. He was himself the whole time. He didn't try to be, I see you, Traveler. You let me talk. I love her kids, but they distract me. This is her son, Traveler. I'm talking about Jesus, and here I am. No, I'm not. No, he's a good kid. You can sit down, Traveler. I'm messing with you. But Jesus, he absolutely loved, and that's why he reads the Bible, by the way. He said he loved the way Jesus just loved, and he tries, he had a temper, Trevor used to. He's calming his temper because how would Jesus conduct himself and things? And that's great for everybody, but he wanted to help. Yeah. But he wanted to help everybody. And and when everybody says the second coming, the Holy Spirit, we're all him. We're all him, and we bring Jesus in our own light, in our own way, however we want to bring Jesus to people. It don't matter how you want to bring Jesus. When he works at Myers gas station. I said, that's how you bring Jesus, and you're the light. You're bringing that part, representing him here. And every part, and that's because everybody carries that. So you're all Jesus, you're all carrying him, and he loves that. You all represent his Father. And we do this every day, despite little actions. And that's why when we do these lives, we love to do these lives. Trevor likes to be on camera. And was drinking the coffee. Well, let's just do this, Trevor. Come on. Ding. There. Yeah. It's my coffee buddy, my church app buddy over here. So.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wrote it. I don't have to. I'm behind. Really. I'm talking to. Never mind.
Are there questions about Jesus or love or what we've talked about? Do you guys have any questions about this stuff?
Anybody has any questions? I mean, I'd be interested, or any feedback, anything would be. We're open to that. Whatever.
And I guess while we're doing that, I'll pull a card for the week. Let's see what kind of message we get.
Okay.
You want to do the same? Hush, my sweet princess baby.
Well, Loki said he's just going to go and just get a message.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Oh, so you go, we got you go first. And then he said he's going to come through and do one.
Perfect. Hush, Miss Baby. This Cleo's got stuff to say today.
Oh, says Loki, what, your grandma or the puppy?
The dog. I'm sure my grandma's got something to say today too.
Yeah, no, I'm sure she's got a lot to say. She's a beautiful woman. She's our new hero now.
Yeah. I thought about that all. That's crazy. I love it. Jennifer said the teaching was spot on. You delivered a beautiful message. Thank you. Awesome. Woo-woo! Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate that.
My son did fantastic. See, he comes from my body. No, he came from Michelle, but you know, well, actually, he came from both of you, but I can take some credit here.
We did good. Yay. We try. We really do. Like we really put time and effort into all this stuff because we want to show love. It's why we don't charge much for sessions. It's why we donate a third, and you get to pick the charity. You get to be involved of thinking of somebody else as you're getting healing for you. I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's our way of showing love. Because this stuff is hard, and there's consequences to stuff, and it's a bigger picture than what we are aware of. But still, choosing love is always the right thing to do because it will also get you out of bad situations. If you're starting to rack up like good karmic points, you can start to have better experiences, right? You hear me, darling Loki? You hear me over there, guy?
I know the message is right now. She's giving this to Loki. I'm getting this loud and clear. Got it here. Priestess, I get it. I get it.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna say this and see if he understands it. Do you want to do it in finger puppets now? See if I really understood it.
Maybe. Just making sure, man. All right. I pulled a card from, what is this called? The Sacred Light Oracle.
I love that deck. Yes.
Too. What card did I get? I got Celestial Channel. Oh man, I'm excited about this. Hidden Beauty, remaining optimistic, stay neutral. All right. Being a clear celestial channel requires peace of spirit. Constant interruptions and anxieties about employment and family commitments consume your mind, when instead you really want to nurture your soul and put your feet up and relax. As a channel for celestial connections, every effort should be made to be free from fear, anxiety, or lower-based energies, as energetic clouds make interpretations difficult. With magic and mystery, Lady Sarah holds the sacred keys to the Akashic Temple. Her earthly mission is to provide support and direction for any future paths, teaching the souls of the earth how to surrender to the present and feel satisfied and content in life. See the blessing in what you have right now, even though you may be afraid of missing out. Ascension Master Lady Sarah asks you to remember the polarity of being. You must honor the light and shadow aspects within yourself, as they are part of you. You can learn from both aspects as a clear celestial channel and must make peace with them to create your future. You have and will always be a celestial channel of pure intent. Maintain clear neutrality while channeling to create optimum reception. Lady Sarah sees the beauty that hides in messy and confronting situations and suggests you reflect on the past, but move forward with gratitude and optimism. Just like the sun and the moon, these energetic celestials have their own time to shine. Ascension Master Lady Sarah says the sun and the moon exist in the same cycles, like the shadows and the light. The affirmation is, I learn through rising challenges. My soul embraces these experiences with success.
Oh, I love that.
I do too.
So I'm going to grab, and this could be a teaching lesson, and I got it over here as well. So, and I was supposed to teach him all of these, so this kind of works out like out of you.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, so I'm going to put Lokaous in his coffee. No, that's not all drink. It's here. It's here. All right. So first we take the bowl. You can add water, or you may not. It is up to you. Adding an accent on an accent. Yeah, no, it's so you clear. Yeah, you have to do all of that. It's just no. So how I do it is I lift it up. So I just see the black coming at me and they all say, "Hey, Loki, how are you?" And I'm like, "Dashing, how are you?" Okay. You have to do all that, Trevor. Unless you want to, you may do that. Always come and say, "Loki, you're handsome." But no, you have to do that. All right. Well, the reason that the message came across is we got a lot of people, our followers here, future followers watching, or just random people just tuning in, feeling compelled to watch. And that synchronicity, divine, but you can call it whatever that makes you, it's call it whatever, you know. But you're drawn to this for a reason. There's something, you're at a spiritual, not the spiritual block, but you're kind of at a, not really a crossroads, you're learning. So you kind of know you know your abilities and gifts. It's just honing them in and it's working them. It is, how do I take this ability and use it for my everyday? How can I help others with this ability? How can I take the spiritual gift of vision, for example, and help somebody else? Or this communication or this angelic message I got. How can I best use it? What message is it giving me? That right now, because now I'm getting celestial, because you did say celestial, so now I'm getting celestial, and the stars in the sky is, I feel that there's a lot of people might look at the sky for answers. There's a lot of star seeds amongst us. I can feel the star seed vibration. I feel that all different areas, you know, if you want me to name, there is vast universe here, which is wonderful. It's great. You're all here to hear about a great divine master, Jesus, the great teacher, the great wisdom of love. We've had Buddha, we've had Krishna, we've had so many, but everyday people are as well. Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, and Mother Teresa, Mother Mary. We all play these parts all the time for everybody. I feel there's some people maybe working with their shadow, and I'm here to reassure you, you've got this. Understand that you are loved. Don't be discouraged. I feel that right now this message is going to be very important. You need to hear this. Something within this live is going to bring something you've needed to hear. Maybe not the exact words, but you were led here for a reason. So I feel divine that people are going to watch. And I feel whatever you were willing to know or asking him is going to give you a clearer message of what you're asking, a better connection. Maybe there's something you were stuck on and you go, I get it now. You know, and it might, and I'm not saying it was the message, just the energy being given. We give a lot of energy when we do this, which means everybody watching picks up on this energy, and you're going to, and it's going to be something like, aha, you're going to have an aha moment. I feel a lot of people have aha, but I keep getting night sky, I keep getting stars. So maybe is looking at the stars, maybe that's what we need besides being star seeds. Connect to your star seed if you know what that is, or simply just looking at the sky, and that's how you connect. You don't have to know. It don't matter. Family's family. Any star seed will take you. Any planetary will take you. They love you. It doesn't matter. Nobody, they're not saying, well, you're all Platus only. We're not going to look at you. No, they look at all of you. They love all of you. Maybe not if you're from Mars, that's a whole other story. They will not. They're different. Dylan has Mars. I would know. But besides that, if you're not at Mars, you're good pretty much. But, and then even look at the sun, the moon and the sun both have their special qualities within. The sun brings the light, the sun brings light. The moon brings, it all brings light. I know I said sun twice, but I like the sun. And there's the moon. But they all bring light. They would bring some kind of light. Maybe you're in the sun point of your life. Maybe you're in the moon state of your life. And the moon just reflects all the shadows that you're working and reflecting. But what happens after the night? Day. So within the night will come day all the time. So I feel there's a lot of people that need this message today. So bottom line, you will actually, what I feel there are a lot of people are going to pick something up they needed to hear today. If it's of love, encouragement, something was needed today and they needed to be heard. And I feel that so much. I feel that there's so many people that need to hear the message of love. I keep getting like different, like time. I'm getting time, like as I'm going, like the days of our lives thing, you know, the hourglass symbol. And maybe somebody's still worrying about timing. Maybe they're worried about, they don't have enough time. Reassure you always have enough time. There is no, where I'm at, there's no time. There's reason there, but here is so you understand from birth, you can keep track like a record, but time don't really exist. So so if you feel like it's too late for something, no, it's not. It's saying go for it. If you feel you're too old, go for it. You're not, you're good. You know, if I can do it, and look how old I am for, well, through her body, but you know, Yeah, and I never die, so let's not talk about that at all. But that's what I feel, and that's what I'm picking up from here. And here is just remember your love, be you, and embrace whatever cycle, the sunlight or the moonlight, wherever you are, and embrace the night sky. I feel the night or the sun, whatever is in your level, even physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, wherever on your journey. But I do get, we have a lot of people though understanding the spiritual. They're waking up to it. Understand, and then you might be going through a spiritual awakening. Embrace that. That's beautiful. I'm feeling a lot of people right now are going through a spiritual awakening right now. I can feel it. Like, please give me this information because I can hear and here. So I'm trying to address as much as I can. But this overall is what I'm picking up, is what you are picking up, it's what I'm picking up, it's what he's picking up. I'm adding because he's sitting here.
Yeah.
And so any last minute message, Trevor, would you like to add? Yes, would you like to add something to our beautiful followers?
I mean, I've always had an understanding. My journey all started when Mom introduced me to crystals and stuff. That's what told me everything has an energy, a life to it. If it sounds stupid, she got me a bloodstone, I forget from where, and told me to feel its energy, see if you can feel I think it was from the shop in Milford.
Enchanted Moments?
Enchanted Moments. She got a bloodstone from Enchanted Moments and told me to feel the energy on this crystal and see if I can connect with it. I wasn't open enough at the time, so I didn't really connect, but then that got my curiosity, so I just kept on it and kept on it and kept on it. And eventually it led me to be a Reiki master. And then that's what, besides working, I think when you work in the public's eye for so long, like in retail, like I do for 6-something years, your abilities start to really awaken. They say when you work in the public's eye, you start to awaken your empathy, is how it starts. And it goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
You can, like as Mom's told me, you can have any ability in the world psychically. You have to be willing to work for it. Nothing ever comes easy.
Yes, and in Enchanted Moments, when he was there, all the knowledge that he just described was, well, those ladies. You ask him if you're looking, and that's what he's right now. When he was looking, that's what they do: feel it, talk to it, listen for it, and it's beautiful how they give that message across. So he learned that, and Michelle even said that because it was funny because the first face he made was this. Like he totally goes, you can't talk to the stone, you can't talk to, and I'm like, oh, no. She's like, no, not that. You have to, and he did it. He goes, like it just like it freaked him out. But that wasn't what they were anticipating, but that was what they were saying to help. And then he does that. Now he says he gets that same reaction from people, but they really do. So that's how he started. He's like, Lokaous says, it'll start a pupil, I scare him. So yeah, but it is all right. But he wants to conduct things, and he follows Blue Heavens. He tells people of the work that the charities, and people love that. They give the charities, and he goes, well, they do, and that because I love that. You give as well on that, and I really call them readings. I call them bullshit sessions. Yeah. I love it. They're coming to us. It's not, and I don't say reading. I always say bullshit session. That's bullshit, because to me, that's what they want to do that because they've got these gifts too. Let's just go back and forth. Let's just we're loving you. You're loving us.
Us giving answers. It's a group thing. Like there's a group thing going on. You're right. It's not like a reading. It is very different. It's more chill. I don't know.
I call it therapeutic. Lokaous calls him therapeutic because he loves it and it helps them. It helps him too. He calls therapeutic. I say bullshit sessions. It don't matter, but that's how we love it because we get to know other people's point of view, and it's just like back and forth exchange, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Destiny said she loves that too, and Jesus take the wheel. Heck yeah. And Jennifer Wallace said she loves that. Destiny said it's a conversation, and I love them. Absolutely, it is. It's just a conversation. It's very calm. Like we I don't know. We try. I think it's beautiful. I feel very blessed to be a part of it. And especially I was a computer programmer and I thought like that was going to be like my thing, and it got really hard and I didn't like it anymore. But that is my thing because it's way better and it's way more fun, and I get to interact with people that I wouldn't otherwise. I mean, it's wonderful. It's like we get to build a community of like-minded people. Like it's like God is finding our soul tribe. Like our soul tribe is coming to us, and we're all like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. You remember me," and helping each other through this stuff. It's a beautiful thing. We're all just a little puzzle piece in a big old puzzle.
Absolutely. It's always that solving, well, where's Waldo?
Yeah, I love Where's Waldo. I'm good at Where's Waldo. I like feel his energy. I don't know what it is. Like, oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. Ah, Sam again.
You know who reminds me of Where's Waldo? Mr. Jack Valentine.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's always because I love where he is. He also reminds me of Marcus. He had a picture of him on a hammock.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
please.
Yeah.
So you know what? He's our spirit animal. Because we're deities. So, we don't really technically have a spirit animal. Well, mine's a wolf, but so Jack Valentine became our spirit animal. And if you don't know who he is, I don't know if his videos are still up, but he's an amazing,
They are
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So please check his videos out.
Check him out. He did great videos. He took a hiatus from it because he felt he learned everything he needed from his videos. He really did. And he did a beautiful job with it. Destiny said besties across the states. Heck yeah, besties. I dig it. Are there any last minute questions? I think this went beautifully. I need to get some pee out and some water in. And I think we have a session in a little bit, don't we? 2:30.
Yes, we do.
I know. I'm checking it out. All right.
Yeah, so I think at 2:30, I think.
Jennifer said, my soul is calling me to do something else to make money. I have a calling to help and be of divine service to others. I just don't know how. I feel like the answer will come to you. I feel like I could give you the answer, but your guides are like, no, like she needs to figure this out.
That is absolutely on point. That's what I love this. See, I want everybody to witness this. This is how it is.
Right. So I slightly channel. So it's like they're talking to me, but I'm communicating it.
And she does it like this. So there's two ways of channeling. She grabs it like she does, but it's still me here or whomever you're talking. You know what I mean? Because there's a bunch of us. I can't say it's just me. Because it could be Cosmo right now. Well, I doubt it because that was intelligent. That's not Cosmo. He's my kid. I can say these things. But I feel that as well, I feel she needs to discover this. But I can say, because her guides do want to give her a little hint, because guides will. They've said, well, she asked to give her a hint. Can you do that? And I'm like, it's not like that. Okay. They said, your journey feels right. When you walked in Enchanted Moments, it felt like the right step. When you bumped into her at Bob Evans, it was totally divine. And she was already thinking of Enchanted Moments. So it just seemed for Reiki. So, and she deals with the public already. So they said what they really want her to do is that is the kick. Where is the Reiki is going to lead her to a whole path, but that's not telling her anything. All it's doing is discovering where she needed, because Reiki can be used. She's going to discover a whole new world. And these ladies down there will show you all your possibilities. They are the best teachers. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
I really can't. They are amazing ladies. Although they scare Lokaous to death, but all right. He hides behind trees, but that's all different. And that, by the way, because they knew that she was channeling, and they said, the one teacher said, I see them like that, scared Michelle, scared Lokaous. So he goes behind a tree and he does this. They would not have reacted fine. They would have been totally great with it, but that's just it. But so Jennifer, I feel that it's going to be in a healing. You're going to be like angel hands is what they're telling me to tell you, but pursue that. But your children tell you this. She's looking for validation, but I feel she already knows this. And then I feel her children tell her this. I feel that she's everybody's mom. Everybody tells her this. I mean, I just feel she's like everybody's mom's what I'm getting. And so she's just going to she'll follow where her heart is needed. So there's not really one direction for her. She's going to have many different, that's all going to deal with healing, her words, communication. So they said, work with her communication, work with her hands. and listen to every instruction she can, embrace stories, listen for everything. Well, she already does this. So that's what they told me to tell her, and that. But as well, this, you do discover it yourself, you get more from it.
Yes. She says that she'll figure it out in perfect timing, and she's already discovering a new world, and she can't wait. Destiny said, side note, Angie, I love your hair right now. Pink ombre. Yeah, right? It's like in pavement spots. I thought it was pretty cute.
I love your hair.
Me too. It always fades so good.
It's cute. She does such a fantastic job. I swear she does on your hair. And your hair is such a fantastic job taking it in like it does.
It does. Yeah, my friend Heidi at Black Cat Salon, she does a heck of a job. Jennifer says, I do, haha, that's awesome. Every day I anoint myself and I say, let me be the mother I need to be for who needs me the most. Yeah.
And the validation that her guides were speaking. And she just validated. So it's what I love. And she'll get a lot of validations. She's going to start getting a lot of validations, and she's going to be like, oh, I did that. Yes, honey, you did. All of you can do that. Yes. So, but they're validating to her. So
perfect. Yep. She said, yep. Destiny, ha 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 ha.
Is it like that? It could have been like that. Or the Pee-wee laugh. I can't do the Pee-wee laugh. I can't do it. It just comes out stupid and scary. Like it's evil.
A little creepy. It's all right. Hardy hard me. Oh,
hardy. Oh,
loving words. Hardy dar har.
Do your best laugh.
You got a Mickey Mouse and a Nelson.
Okay, do your best.
Yeah.
Your best.
Pretty good.
And then the Nelson.
Yeah.
Every time somebody get hurt. I do that at work. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't teach them that.
Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer said, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Yeah. So we'll do another Tuesday teaching on, let me look at my calendar, May 17th. Oh, it's the day before Michelle's birthday. 50th birthday, right?
Yep, it's her 50th.
50th, day before 50th birthday. Oh man, what are we going to talk about? My daughter Elliot just popped on to say, hey kid at school. Hi, Ellie.
Hey.
Here's Trevor.
There's Trevor. Oh, Ellie's one of my favorite children.
Is she really? Oh, she's like one of the favorite nieces. One of the favorites.
One of my favorites, yeah. Destiny said happy day. Yeah, this was great. So we'll figure out what our next Tuesday teaching is going to be about. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out. And we have an Ask Lazarus and Lucian this Thursday. It's the 5th. That's Dad's birthday. So Cinco de Mayo. Come get a cerveza. We'll get beers and stuff. For Cinco de Mayo. We'll get a margarita.
This is Cosmo. Beers.
Bitches.
Margaritas. My favorite day of all was May 5th. And your dad doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink. I know. It's always been the funniest thing. It's what an irony, right?
I was a bartender. I took advantage. I loved it. Sorry, I spent a holy bartender, but I wasn't.
Dad had his first drink ever, though, in your presence. Do you remember?
I corrupted him.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, unfortunately. Don't remind me of that. Your dad is so good.
I know. He just had a sip, but then he just wouldn't shut up. He wouldn't shut up. Like, it was crazy.
I felt bad. I felt bad because your dad is just so. I'm going to hell for this. I'm going to hell for this. Really, I'm going to hell. So thank you for reminding me this, Angie. I forgot. You brought it up.
Hey, it was Vegas, baby.
Oh, Cosmo has heart. He has some heart.
Yeah, I always.
But yes. But yeah, I'm going to bring Marcus back. Loki, let me have the accent for 5 seconds, and he took it. I can't handle, for those of you, I can't handle the accent. I can't handle the accent. So he takes it from me. Yeah. He gives it to me, and Someone bring Marcus through because he's getting antsy. For Marcus, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
He's, kind of,
He's ready.
and this is Marcus, and I don't do that.
All right, so give us some loving words of wisdom to end our day with, or to get us on our way. What's some Christian Marcus wisdom we got?
I want everybody to be love, be that spark. We talked about a great divine teacher, a wonderful teacher. When I was here, I did speak about him. A wonderful teacher, as father. And I'm hearing the divine once again. If you want to know why I'm crossing my eyes, I think Angie knows where I'm coming with this. I'm hearing the divine. If you caught the one where you always get the logical God telling you, I died with an arrow in my head, and he has yet to let me live that down. I could have taught the message without the arrow. I digress here, okay? You gotta remember, when you're so close to divine, where I'm at, you just hear it. And it's like, don't be that example. I get that. That's not what they're watching, but okay. And I'm not arguing with the divine. They're always right. Okay.
Yeah.
But he was correct. I could have had different ways, I could have had a beer. I could have had rum, but that's how I want. But be that love. Watch for arrows. Don't be in the path of the deer arrow. I suppose should be the message, because I'm getting that. Watch your head, wear orange, and just don't be in that. But be the love for somebody. Be the spark. Bring humor. Bring love. Be that hug, or be the distant 6-foot hug. Whatever. We can still be loving without a whole. Don't dart at people. Let's not stalker hug. Let's like creepy hug. It's just hug. Loki, now do not do that to gas station. If you do, you blame Loki. You say Loki did this. What did it? But just be love, be that spark, and there's a wasp flying around. So of course I'm going to just start doing all of this. So you know how I am with bugs. So but because it crawls on the skin and it just
Again.
but we know about that. But just be love, be spark, and and I'm getting flow of water. Maybe somebody needs to hear that. Be that flow of water. Life is like water, it just flows. Sometimes you're going to have your waterfalls, sometimes you're just going to have your rivers, and sometimes a little creek. But whatever, life is, it is beautiful, no matter what part of the sky you want to look at, the water. So just be love today. Be that love for somebody, be that love for you, so you can give that love to somebody, and be that ear, that voice, be whatever you need to be for this person that needs you, and they will do the same. And that is how we put that love out. And watch for arrows, watch for orange, where orange, you got to go anywhere where there's hunters. Just do all of that. And be laughing today too. I feel laughter is good. Let's bring laughter. If you can bring laughter to somebody, put yourself under the bus, as long as it is not mean.
Right.
She'll say, I'm ugly. Watch how I'm doing it. Oh, nah, I can joke. It's my death. I can joke about it. But, I'm just be that, but laughing will raise your vibration. So let's just be however we need to be for somebody else today. And that's why we do the lives.
Yep.
We love all of you. We do what we do, and we extend that love to all of you. This is like an olive branch. We love all of you. If I do this right, it takes a bit, but yeah, I looked me a long time. And don't ask me to write anything, because cannot write.
Can't
Don't
do
understand.
autographs.
But don't ever ask me that. So if you see
Autograph.
us in public and you want an autograph,
Yeah.
it has to be Lokaous. I can't do it. Don't know. I would do it like this, but I can't. But
You
I
telepathically give your autograph. It's on there. Just trust me.
not just how. Yeah.
Wait,
Don't
it's on there?
well, if you really want something funny to watch, it is funny. I'm hearing from everybody else. It made David laugh for 10 minutes, because I just sat there like, what does that even mean? So yeah. So if you want a good laugh, please, yeah. That says, hey, Krishna, sign this for me. We'll bring Lokaous for that. But I never in Michelle's body, and I say bring Lokaous. We'll bring Michelle through. We'll bring Michelle through, and Angie will sign it. So
All
there
right.
you go.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. But everybody just be love. Have a great, wonderful afternoon. Blessed. And Angie, I'm going to let you end it because you know what? You never end it. And you do channel here. So I said it over here. Since Angie channels Marcus as well, Angie can give her version of what Marcus would say.
Right. Know you're unconditionally loved by the creator of the universe and loads of spirit beings. Like there are councils that have you. There are things in place to have things that are just and fair. And love can help heal us and get us out of bad situations.
This is Loki. Really, Angie? Is this how we're going?
Yes.
Again?
I can't throw it in again, but we're good again. All right. Whew. All right.
Thank you.
We love you all, and we will see you in our next video.